Welcome to Red Moon Anime. Today we're diving into Tower of God Season 2, Episode 15. Get ready for an exciting breakdown as we explore all the key moments and twists. Let's get started. The episode begins with a flashback where Bam is wandering outside, and Endorsi approaches him, teasingly asking if he's left his beloved Rachel to come here. She notices the flowers in his hand, and playfully asks if he's trying to be romantic. Bam responds by explaining that where he comes from, there were no flowers or even a moon, so he plans to give these flowers to Rachel. Endorsi comments that Rachel is lucky to get all of Bam's attention, but adds that she deserves a reward too, as she's worked hard. When Bam asks what kind of reward she wants, Endorsi tells him she wants a date. Bam, confused, asks what a date is. Endorsi explains that a date is when he spends the entire day doing everything he can to make her happy and think only of her. Bam agrees, though he warns Endorsi that he's unsure if he'll be able to manage a proper date, but adds that if they pass the test, they can try. Endorsi, excited, says she's looking forward to it. As she's about to leave, Endorsi nearly trips because of her shoes, but Bam catches her just in time. She thanks him, and Bam suggests she wear shoes that are easier to move in. The scene cuts to the present, where Endorsi bursts through a wall just as the robot is about to attack Viole and Traveler. Viole is shocked to see her. Endorsi quickly dismantles the robot, points a gun at Viole's head, and says, "We finally meet. Jouer Viole Grace." Meanwhile, we see Wang Nan running away, speaking to Koon, asking if this is really their only option. Koon tells him to trust him and keep going, but Wang Nan admits he doesn't trust him at all. Koon responds, "If you don't want any of your teammates to die, then run." The scene shifts to Traveler, who is surprised by Viole's true identity. Endorsi comments that she heard Jouer Viole Grace was supposed to be a muscular, long-haired man, but instead, he's just a skinny little thing. She demands to know why he isn't saying anything and orders him to raise his head. Traveler warns Endorsi that she might be making a mistake, believing Viole isn't part of Thug. Suddenly, Viole summons a gun, using his Shinsu, freezing Endorsi and causing her to fall. Viole then grabs the gun and asks Traveler if he has any bombs left. Traveler replies that he has anti-tank explosives. As Endorsi, furious, charges at them, Viole instructs Traveler to throw the bombs at her, resulting in a massive explosion. Endorsi, now enraged, vows to kill them, cursing the ones who dared use anti-tank explosives on a delicate lady. But in that moment, Viole's power reminds her of Bam. As more robots approach, she grumbles that she is in a bad mood there. Meanwhile, Traveler and Viole escaped into an underground tunnel. Traveler mentioned that he never thought he'd see Endorsi Jihad in person. She may be terrifying, but still cute. He reassured Viole that she must have given up the chase by now. Viole responded, hoping Traveler was right. Traveler then sympathized with Viole, saying it was terrible how Endorsi mistook him for Jouer Viole Grace. He couldn't believe Viole could be someone as dangerous as Jouer Viole Grace. Noticing that the patrols had stopped chasing them and hearing commotion above, Traveler suggested they part ways. Viole agreed, and as they shook hands, Traveler expressed how glad he was to have met Bam, also known as Viole, and hoped to see him again on the Archimedes before leaving. Left alone, Viole recalled what Traveler had said earlier about the grand prize of the workshop. Battle is a human being, and he wondered what was really happening. Regardless, he knew he needed to get back. Next, we see Quattro excitedly exclaiming how much fun it is to burn people who are too scared to shoot, saying he really enjoys this game. Then, we see Chang holding 6 bullets in his hand. Quattro asks Chang who he should burn next, but Chang tells him to slow down. He spots a lighthouse and suggests that they head to a higher spot together. Quattro eagerly responds, saying he loves heights. A Craptor spoke to Yua and Goseng, telling them that things had calmed down below, and that they couldn't hide forever. He urged them to leave with him. Yua agreed, noting that they would be in serious trouble if they couldn't get onto the Archimedes. As they moved forward, Goseng held the gun tightly. Suddenly, they encountered Chang and Quattro. Chang remarked to a Craptor that they didn't have to look hard to find him and asked if he was desperate to see him. Just as a Craptor attempted to shoot, Chang quickly aimed his gun at a Craptor's foot, taunting him for being too slow. Chang then instructed him to drop the gun and not to bother trying to resist. Meanwhile, Wang Nan tells Chang to look right at him while holding a gun pointed at Quattro's head. He threatens that if Chang wants to keep Quattro in the game, he must drop the gun. Just then, Goseng unexpectedly asks Wang Nan how he got there. Koon appears and explains that he ran to the location. He adds that those who haven't passed yet are either cowards too scared to shoot or are after an item, and he figures they wouldn't get shot even if they boldly approached. Koon mentions that he arrived by following a lighthouse and tells Wang Nan that he's using his brain to devise a plan because he doesn't have energy to waste. Wang Nan shouts back, "Screw you!" Koon then reminds Wang Nan that they were able to save them because Wang Nan decided to start running. Wang Nan retorts that he wouldn't exactly call that a good thing. Chang approached Koon, mentioning he had heard rumors of Koon's death. Koon greeted him with a smile, saying, "Long time no see." Chang then questioned why Koon was associating with trash, which upset Goseng. Yiwa, angered, asked if she could just burn Chang. Koon intervened, urging her not to create more problems, explaining that the situation was complicated. He then told Quattro they were fortunate. Typically, in situations like this, they would have been shot and removed from the game. Chang insisted that Koon be straightforward, prompting Koon to propose a deal. They could either withdraw from the game or surrender all their bullets. If they chose the latter, Koon promised to send them to Archimedes using light shots. Chang attempted to refuse both options, but Koon warned that he understood their strength and that they had no chance of defeating him in a fight there. He advised Chang to consult his right eye if he didn't comprehend the gravity of the situation. Chang retorted that Koon was not playing fair. Then, Koon activated light mode, sending Quattro and Chang to Archimedes. Goseng thanks Koon for joining them and asks him to help find Mising and Prince. However, Koon insists that he's ignoring them for now. He explains that they can't waste time searching for people they can't contact. They need to focus on escaping the game while they still can. Yiwa shouts at Koon, asking what if Mising and Prince are in danger. Koon replies that they should take responsibility for their own issues. He emphasizes that they can't win the workshop battle with teammates who can't handle their problems and who put others at risk. They can't truly be considered a team if that's the case. Koon urges everyone to trust their teammates and prioritize getting out of the game first. That's how they can help each other. Wang Nan looks troubled by Koon's words, but a Craptor completely agrees, asking Koon to hit him with the light mode. Koon complies, shooting him and saying to meet him on the ship. Next, we see Verdi, one of Ship's teammates, who has taken down several opponents using her creature control powers. She's also captured Prince and Mising. Vespa remarks that Verdi seems to have gathered a lot of bullets and asks who Prince and Mising are. Verdi responds that she likes them and plans to keep them, eventually turning them into her puppets because they're so cute. She even wants them to get married. Vespa sighs and says, "There she goes again." He tells Verdi to keep moving, warning that if they're late again, the princess will be furious. As they leave, Vespa reports to Ship that everyone, including Verdi, is in position and waiting. Ship praises the team and gives the order for all units to prepare for the attack as planned, starting with the spear. They then head toward the hotel to begin their mission. Yuto heads to meet Reflejo. Reflejo asks if Viole has returned. Yuto then informs him that the enemy spear bearer is on the move. Meanwhile, Ship tells his teammates that Viole's team is likely jamming communications inside the building, so they'll have to rely on their judgment. Their objectives are clear: total annihilation of the enemy and capturing Hui Viole Grace alive. Anak then attacks the building with her spear and enters, catching Cassano's attention. Ran waits at the entrance and asks Anak if she's seeking revenge. He urges her to leave, claiming there's no point in fighting since the lizards don't seem interested in conflict. Meanwhile, Hatsu confronts Kasano. Kasano manages to escape Hatsu's attack, and Hatsu, surprised to find him there, greets him with a smirk, calling him the devil of the right arm. Meanwhile, Ciaxia reports to Reflejo that the enemy's spear-bearer has entered the second-floor hallway, and Kasano is engaged in a battle with another fighter outside the building. At this point, they are only aware of these two threats. Reflejo then asks Ciaxia if she has heard anything from Viole. Ciaxia replies that she hasn't received any updates yet. Reflejo tells her they have no choice but to stay in their positions and keep their ears open for now. Suddenly, Viole's voice crackles through the intercom, asking Ciaxia if she can hear him. Ciaxia angrily shouts at Viola, demanding to know how he could just disappear like that. Viole apologizes, assuring her that he will return very soon. Ciaxia urges him to hurry because enemies, specifically Anak Jihad and her friends, have appeared at the hotel. Just then, a man suddenly appears, aiming to shoot Viole with his gun. However, Viole swiftly defeats him and continues rushing back to the hotel. As he makes his way, many adversaries attempt to stop him, but Viole dispatches them all using his Shinsu power. The scene shifts back to Anak and Ran, who have begun their fierce battle. Despite Anak's relentless attacks, none seem to land on Ran. Novik observes and comments to Ran, expressing his belief that Ran came to stop the fight. In response, Ran dismisses Novik, stating that it's pointless to converse with Lizard. Suddenly, Anak launches an attack at Novik, but he skillfully blocks it. Ran warns Novik that he will regret blocking the attack instead of dodging it. Then, a massive explosion rocks the area. Meanwhile, Hatsu turns to Kasano and asks if he's worried about his teammates and what his connection is to Fug. Just as Kasano prepares to shoot Hatsu with his gun, Hatsu swiftly counters, knocking the weapon from Kasano's hand. He declares that he's not interested in a sloppy shootout, continuing his assault with his sword. Kasano retorts, telling Hatsu that he hasn't learned anything from his previous defeat and attacks him with his right arm, asserting that he cannot defeat an ignition weapon like him with that sword. Meanwhile, Ship expresses his frustration to Vespa about their terrible luck in encountering the devil of the right arm, something completely unexpected. Vespa then questions whether it's a bad idea to let Hatsu join them, recalling that Hatsu had previously lost to the devil of the right arm. Ship explains that Hatsu faced the devil of the right arm on the 20th floor and suffered a crushing defeat. Fortunately, thanks to the efforts of others, they managed to pass the test, but Hatsu took the loss quite hard. Vespa then said that perhaps this time, Hatsu has found a way to defeat the devil of the right arm. Ship reassures Vespa, saying there's no need to worry. When it comes to revenge, it's often the one who is more desperate who comes out on top. The scene shifts back to Hatsu, who asks Kasano if that's all he has to say. He then tells Kasano to worry about his own arm next. As the tension rises, we see that Kasano's hands are covered in cuts. Suddenly, both of them engage in battle, and Hatsu successfully manages to slash Kasano's arm. Kasano, surprised, questions Hatsu about what has changed, wondering if it's his weapon that has improved. Hatsu replies that nothing has changed, he simply started practicing twice as much. In disbelief, Kasano exclaims that it's absurd and vows to kill Hatsu before he consumes him, and the battle rages on. As they fight, Hatsu reflects on the impact Kasano has had on him. After their last defeat, he swung his sword millions of times, becoming a stronger and sharper weapon than Kasano. After Anak's attack, we find Novik in a dire state. Ran questions Novik's intelligence, pointing out that while Anak may be a half-breed, he significantly underestimated the power of someone with Jihad blood. Meanwhile, Hatsu stands with his sword pointed at Kasano, pressing him once again about his relationship with Fug. Hatsu demands to know what Kasano hopes to gain from the workshop battle. In an unexpected twist, Kasano reveals that he feels jealous of Hatsu's sword, which grows stronger alongside its wielder. Suddenly, a massive cloud crashes down behind Hatsu, catching his attention. Sensing danger, he prepares himself as Kasano unleashes the power in his right arm. With a swift attack, he shatters Hatsu's sword, gun aimed at Hatsu's head, and declares that they will meet at the workshop battle. Back with Anak, she notices the black clouds surrounding her and suspects that Ran is using them to obscure her vision. Frustrated, she dismisses this tactic as pointless. In a sudden move, Anak strikes at Ran with her spear, only to find he's not where she expected. Ran attacks from behind, but Anak anticipates the blow and counters. Ran tries to escape again, launching an electric attack at Anak. Surprisingly, she manages to evade it. However, seeing the blood on her weapon, Anak wonders what kind of man Ran is. Despite her injury, he remains eerily calm, which irritates her. Determined, Anak dispels the clouds with her Shinsu, leaving just one remaining. Convinced that Ran is hiding within it, she thrusts her spear forward. Just then, Ran crashes through the window, taunting Anak for her mistake as he points a gun at her and smugly declares, "Caught a lizard." Quickly, Anak flips around, positioning her gun at Ran's back, challenging him with the question, "Who caught who?" At that moment, Viole arrives, aiming his gun at both of them and demanding they stop. The tension escalates, and as 2 gunshots ring out, the episode comes to a dramatic close. What was your favorite moment from this episode? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button, share the excitement, and subscribe to Red Moon Anime for even more epic anime content. Thanks for tuning in, and see you in the next video.